All right, the floor is open. Anybody who'd like to speak? We have time to handle questions for people to just share from their own experience, whatever you want to bring to the group. And I will kind of comment on the shares as I see them kind of opening up to lessons about our theme tonight and other themes of meditation. Okay, Pete or John from off screen. Go ahead and unmute, Kate.
It's Kate.
Yeah.
I try to be a good student, so if you're encouraging us, I'm gonna come forward. But I have to go out at night because we have chickens, and I have to put the chickens to bed, which is to say, I just have to shut them in. They go to bed all by themselves.
They go by themselves, yes.
They go by themselves, but I shut the door, so I have to go out every night, and on occasion, I really remember to pay attention, and it's not necessarily to the breathing, but it's to where I am. It's like, oh, this is amazing. It's dark. I'm way in the country. It's very dark. I see the stars really clearly. There's a few lights from the house. There's lights in the chicken house if it's not too late. And I don't know. I came inside and I was saying to John, it's like, oh, I was just feeling so appreciative of being here and seeing all this. And he says, you say that a lot when you come in from doing this. And I don't remember saying it particularly a lot, but it was, I somehow what you were saying tonight made me realize, oh, I was meditating. I wouldn't call it meditating. I was putting the chickens in, but it was like a form of meditation for me. And it's because it was just completely enjoyable with no stuff around it.
Exactly. Your mind fell awake.
So enjoyment so often has stuff. You need stuff to have an enjoyable time. And this was just no stuff. It was just
no stuff.
Look, it was just being aware of what was. So that was my enjoy. And I thought
you've just named the secret of enjoyment. Enjoyment is about what's present. All that sort of hullabaloo that people do in order to enjoy things, that has very little to do with enjoyment. Enjoyment is always about what's present.
Well, I am grateful for what's present in this moment.
Thank you. I love the story of the chickens. It takes me back to when we had chickens. We don't have chickens anymore. They're such characters. And yeah, and going out at night to shut them in. There's a little part of that I love about having animals is the way it gets you outdoors. At times, we humans huddle inside all the time, trying to be comfortable and safe. And it's really nice. It's really nice to step out in the darkness. So thanks for reminding us. How easy it is, really, to do this assignment. And yet it's hard in a certain way because we get so in ruts of, what's the word? We get conditioned to be kind of on automatic all the time, okay, do this task, do that task. And when we fall awake in a moment, it's like the belief that we know everything already falls away. And we're actually there and it's fresh. It's new. All right. Anything else, Kate? You're good. All right. I'll meet you. Okay, Louise.
Well, I've been working a lot lately with shifting from feeling tired, obligated, and burdened. Those are themes that they've been around in my life for a long time. I think I inherited them. And it's time to choose a different relationship to my moving through my day. And we have a dog who's young, and I got her so that I could be brought into the present moment more and be brought outside more. But that other perspective of, gee, there's a lot to do. And I just can't go outside right now. I'm too tired. I've got too much to do, just the cycle of that kind of thinking. And I realized recently that I was turning having her into a burden, into another obligation.
Yeah.
And then I went, oh, okay, I can change that. So now when she comes over and I'm in the middle of working and she's like, she's very expressive, instead of ignoring her, telling her to go away, I take that as an opportunity and pay attention to her and, talk to her and play with her and pet her, brush her, whatever. And in doing that, in making those choices lately and noticing how it frees up my energy, I'm less tired, I feel less burdened, blah, blah, blah.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah. That it also meant that doing the same thing every day doesn't feel boring if you are totally in the present moment, the way children and dogs are. She doesn't care how many times I throw the disc to the same spot. It doesn't matter to her one whit. Every time is new. So I think of it as every time is new, and I'm not bored doing that with her anymore. It's
right.
So, yeah.
Isn't that amazing? Yeah.
And all of this definitely directly relates to your teaching tonight.
Yeah, no, it does. And I'm so happy you have seen through your mind, so to speak, your mind's tricks. And, in the way that it spins things, because the very same experience can be seen as an obligation or burden or as a opportunity for enjoyment, a place to really invest your heart. And you've made that turn where you're actually investing your heart in your relationship with your dog. And, and that's what makes it fun for the dog catching the ball or the disc is they put their whole heart into it, and whatever that kind of leaping, grabbing, moving their body, they're so totally in it. And it's infectious. You can be totally into it too, because they are totally into it. And this is actually the stuff of life. All these repetitive things are really most of what a life is made of. In breaths and out breaths, walking the dog, getting up in the morning, brushing the teeth. And, if you watch children brush their teeth, they don't necessarily do it like the same time, the same way every time. They, they get into it in a certain way, sometimes in ways you don't want them to. So yeah, you've really seen how just the relationship you take to something can shift it. So thank you. Enjoy your dog. All right, Mickey.
Yeah, hi. Yeah, I'm one of those people who never speaks, so I'm making
So
myself.
welcome.
Yes, I'm speaking. So I'm wondering if the way you're talking is kind of radical. As like, are you just like taking us down some radical thing away from traditional Buddhism? How are we going to reach nirvana if we're enjoying ourselves? I don't know. If concentrating the mind, So I don't know. It just feels really radical.
It feels really radical. So there's an actual passage in the suttas, I don't remember where it is, that says that joy is the gateway to enlightenment. It's underquoted. Joy is the gateway to enlightenment. And enjoyment concentrates the mind much quicker than effort, than the usual kinds of effort that we do. It really does. You can think of this as like a really radical thing if that makes you practice it. I don't know. But people have different relationships to the word radical. It's like, oh, wow, it's radical. It's attractive. Or radical. Oh, no, I want to stay with what's more accepted. So I don't know if it falls in that. It's not typical. It's not a kind of typical word that I hear in Buddhist circles. I think, however, that it is completely in harmony with the teaching. But sometimes my feeling about Buddhism is that it's too good at forming a Buddhist ego, of people out there trying to be good Buddhists. And there's a seriousness about it. And there's a working really hard to become enlightenedness about it that I don't think is actually helpful for awakening. There's something about it, and a kind of controlling all one's experience to make it all the way it's, ideally should. There's something right there that is a near enemy, to use a very Buddhist word, a near enemy of what the practice is about. And so I'm trying to use enjoyment to kind of ease people out of the near enemy into the real path, where awakening is to some degree natural to the mind. It's natural. Just as it was natural to the Buddha in his father's garden to enjoy the flowers and the bugs and the grass. There's something. It's not all about difficulty. Egos love difficulty. They don't like ease. They don't like things to be too easy, because then you don't get, this feeling of I'm really effective by doing something really hard. You don't get that so much with something easy. And yet, if you try this, Mickey, the explore the paradox of what do you have to do to enjoy something? What is that shift? What actually goes on there? I think you'll discover that the Dharma is right there in it. It's what it's been talking about to some degree, but we've made too big and heavy of a task out of it, and missed the naturalness of awakening. So I don't know if that helps you. I don't know if I'm radical. I've always been willing to follow the direction of my own experience of what I've found helpful. That has been my commitment, more than being orthodox. And stay true to what I know from my experience.
Well, I think that's what makes your teaching so relevant to so many people.
Thank
That you
you.
are speaking from your own experience, and it doesn't sound like we're being handed down the truth, you know.
Yes.
It's much more direct. So I appreciate it.
Thank you. It's good to hear that it's reflected, because that is my intention. All right. Thanks. Thanks so much. So we're coming to the end of our time, folks. You got your assignment to enjoy breathing or anything else. I mean, we'll accept enjoyment wherever it happens. But that's kind of the place we're beginning with the breath. And we'll talk next week and bring your experiences to share. They're always welcome. All right. Be well.